Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so your friends see it. Thank you.
Famous college says conservatives do not have the right to free speech. It's disgusting. It is sad that America's universities, which have long been the envy of the rest of the world, have become such toxic places where free speech is not only not welcomed but it's actually discouraged. Now at one top university, some students want free speech to be banned. Princeton University in New Jersey has produced several U.S. presidents, but it now apparently turns out close-minded, angry liberals instead of future world leaders. In a truly disgusting example of this, the school's newspaper the Daily Princetonian agreed to put out an article that told people that when conservatives appeal to free speech, students should ignore them, because they are appealing to a right that does not exist. Added an editor's note in the article, because free speech is a cornerstone of our rights under the Constitution, it can appear that conservatives' socially free speech has this constitutional tradition as its backbone. However, it goes on to say that conservative speech is something much different since conservatives are interested in being able to propose their ideas without any political opposition to their right to speech. It adds that if conservative arguments were strong, they would be convincing, and if they were convincing, they would not meet political opposition. The writer also said that there's no such thing as social free speech, where free refers to a right to speak free from obstinate opposition. And if conservatives disagree, they are welcome to it. I, and others, are happy to respond accordingly. Thankfully, one conservative student named Nicholas Cilio hit back, writing, after seeing an article that quickly called to completely dismiss many of my viewpoints, many of my friends' viewpoints, many people whom I haven't met yet, an article that conflated us with some of the most criminal men in human history, and one that was all over the place with its claims, logic, and accusations. Really, it was something that I wanted to publish a response to. He said he wanted to try to show, especially to the incoming class of 2021, that this isn't what the university is about. Do you think it's disgusting that the Daily Princetonian put out such an article? Top stars' publicists say why they refuse to book their celebs on Megyn Kelly's show. Ouch. In a turn of events that has surprised nobody except the NBC executives who foolishly hired her, Megyn Kelly's career so far as the freshest face at NBC News has been nothing short of a disaster. Megyn's run at the liberal network reached an all-time low in September when she completely botched an interview with Academy Award-winning actress Jane Fonda, during which she made Jane deeply uncomfortable by pointing out to television viewers the plastic surgery Fonda has had done. In the wake of that and other failed interviews, publicists for A-list celebrities are now refusing to subject their clients to Megyn. Stated a report in Variety magazine, "I'm not booking anyone on her show," says a high-powered publicist, with a roster of big names, who asked for anonymity due to her overall relationship with Today. "I literally haven't pitched anyone even from right out the gate. The buzz that is out there is so bad." It added, another well-known publicist, who represents one of the celebrities who has appeared on Kelly's show, wasn't pleased with the interview. "I won't plan to have others go on," the publicist said. "None specifically have been offered or asked to, but it'll be my preference not to." Page 6 recently reported that Megyn's hour of a Today show is down in viewership by 32% from last year. Stated the report, "Too many people are tuning out NBC. Hoda and Kathy Lee had been a bright spot in the mornings. People are alarmed," the source said of the slide. Another source told us that Today talent is concerned. "The format for Megyn's show doesn't make sense. Her show distracts from the Today franchise," the second source said. "Are you glad Megyn has been flopping so hard at NBC?" Rush just pointed out the huge problem with Tobias's anti-Trump speech. Love him or hate him, One thing that can be said for certain about former Republican President George W. Bush is that he is a member of the American political establishment. After all, his own father was also president and his brother Jeb served as governor of Florida. Despite the fact that President Donald Trump is also a Republican, Bush clearly decided that it was in the best interest of wing of the party to publicly slam Trump. After all, Trump and his allies such as Steve Bannon have posed a strong threat to the Republican establishment. Radio host Rush Limbaugh listened to Bush's nasty speech where he took barely hidden swipes at Trump, and he noticed one big thing that was missing from his 16-minute address. Said Rush, George did not say much of anything for the 8 years of the regime of Barack Hussein. He didn't write a letter. He often said, "Hey, I had my 8 years. I'm not gonna comment on my successor. It's not the way we former presidents do things." Instead, said Limbaugh, he's calling out Trump voters. What is this, the George W. Bush version of Hillary's deplorables? He also called out Bush for trying to tout the dynamism that the influx of immigrants has brought to the United States. Said Rush, I have a stat. I saw this the other day, it shocked me, but then when I stopped and thought about it, it had to be true. He continued, the U.S. immigrant population has hit a record 43.7 million in 2016. 1 out of 5.5, 1 out of 5.5, Americans is an immigrant, legal and illegal combined. 1 out of 5. That's not dynamism. That is an invasion that has been ignored and you might even say covered up. Do you agree with Limbaugh about Bush's speech? Jenna Jameson ripped into Playboy for having its first transgender playmate, do you agree with her? For decades, Playboy set and maintained the gold standard for classy adult entertainment for men. Now that founder Hugh Hefner passed away, the company's new management rapidly decided to run the company into the ground. In a move that is sure to have Playboy's faithful subscribers canceling their subscriptions, the men's magazine decided to select a former man to be its newest playmate. A French transgender model who goes by the name Inès Rao is on the cover and in a centerfold in the current issue. Hefner's grandson Cooper Hefner, who currently runs the family magazine and entertainment empire, defended the move, saying, "It's the right thing to do. We're at a moment where gender roles are evolving." He then added, in typical liberal politically correct fashion, "We should collectively be fighting for a more open world, not one that promotes hatred and a lack of acceptance." However, former playmate Jenna Jameson is not thrilled about having a biological male be a playmate. Commented Jenna on her Twitter account, "So at Playboy just announced it will be featuring its first transgender playmate." She continued, "I have a problem with it just like I have a problem with a transgender competing against biological women in sports." One liberal tried to scold Jenna, writing back, "Modeling and sports are different. Playboy has never shied away from putting enhanced models in their magazine." She hit back, "And women and men are two different things. See what I did there?" Jenna continued, "Just because I don't agree with a trans person being in Playboy doesn't mean I'm transphobic. People these days with all their phobics." She later added, "Because I think it's setting fire to an iconic brand and pandering to this ridiculous PC world we live in." Do you agree with Jenna about this stupid move? Black Gold Star mom just slammed CNN on live TV for attacking Trump. Wow. CNN and the Democrats had a great deal of success last fall trotting out a Gold Star father named Khizr Khan and using him to try to berate then candidate Donald Trump for somehow not being patriotic. Liberals have been trying to find any angle possible to attack Trump now that he's president, and they decided to trot out another pair of Gold Star parents to try to replicate their smear from 2016. Thankfully, this time it backfired on them on live TV. CNN host Allison Camrota had African-American Gold Star parents Sheila and Calvin Murphy on her show. Their 22-year-old son Etienne died while serving in Syria. Allison attempted to use these grieving parents to insult the president, and asked them if Trump had given them a call. she did not get the answer she clearly wanted. Replied Sheila, "No, I haven't, but it's okay. It doesn't matter if I hear from the White House or not, because it's not really about a call or letter." She added, "The worst thing I have ever been called is a gold star mom." Kamroti tried again, baiting them by asking, "I know that you wrote a letter to the White House, I think. What did you want the president to know about your son?" Again, Sheila did not bite, saying, "I just wanted him to not forget my son. And I actually thank President Trump for ordering the airstrike in Syria, but it wasn't enough to save my child. I have no hard feelings towards anyone. Are you glad this grieving woman stood up for her son's memory and did not allow his death to be used as a liberal prop?" Rush says one person is taking over the Republican Party and it isn't Trump. Conservative talk radio legend Rush Limbaugh has been a firm supporter of Republican President Donald Trump, and he is also aware of the effect Trump's change agent status has had on the Republican Party as a whole. Limbaugh has stated how he wants the Republican Party to serve President Trump and his agenda, and has been dismayed over how some Republican lawmakers in Washington who are unable to put their egos on check have been putting up needless obstacles to Trump's plans. Thankfully, he pointed out how Trump's former chief strategist Steve Bannon has been taking over the Republican Party in its current leadership void, to Trump's benefit. Explained Rush on his show, "I think what Bannon is doing is slowly but surely taking over the role of the Republican Party. The Republican Party is obviously not with Trump on balance, you have some in the House who are, but the Republican Party on balance is not with Trump." He continued, "Some people make an argument that there really isn't a Republican Party left. I mean, there are people who call themselves that and they go out and raise money and they raise a lot. But whereas the party used to be known for 1, 2, or 3 very serious things, they're not anymore." Bannon's influence was felt a few weeks ago when Roy Moore, the candidate he backed in the Alabama special election Republican primary, soundly defeated establishment-backed Luther Strange. What do you think about Bannon's rising influence in the GOP?